Nigerian famous porn star Kachi, who now goes by Peter, has been released from Nigerian custody on the month of June. He made his first post on June 27th of last month saying that he is Kachi and he doesn't give a shit of what anybody thinks about him.
That was murdered.
As Pride comes to an end, and as we dive into the month of July, they say Wahala no they finish, as we know. But on today's news, after much campaign has been done, after much shouting out and crying out, Nigerian famous porn star Kachi, who now goes by Peter, has been released from Nigerian custody on the month of June. He made his first post on June 27th of last month saying that he is Kachi and he doesn't give a shit of what anybody thinks about him. The Nigerian porn star was arrested sometime in the early of June, where he was mobbed by people from Bayelsa State and was handed into the Nigerian police authority. It was gathered that the Nigerian porn star, who is also a serviceman in the Nigerian police, was moved from Bayelsa State and shifted all the way to Abuja for his trial. It was said that he was supposed to receive a 21 case lawsuit against him, but finally, with the help of humanitarian organizations like Tears and other non-governmental NGOs, they were able to release Kachi out from police custody. One would think that now that Kachi is out, that the porn star will stop, producing and production for a while to allow the matter dies out. But on the news, a blog has stated that the porn star is back in business and he doesn't care what anybody thinks about it. Please, before we proceed, you are still watching Q Talk Canada, and do not change that dial. We're coming back with more information on this matter, and I remain your presenter and host, Chimereze Henry Ahonaya.
Now I'm alone. Now you send me. You just a post. You just a popo me. You just a go. You know the answer me. See where they beg you. Should I be around Jenny? And you know say you find too. All the girls go they find you. All the guys go they find me. Me I no fit attend to. Me I no fit compare you.
Welcome, viewers. Thanks for taking your time to watch the clips and watch those pictures from from the blogs and from the media. Kachi was arrested. We all know how we at Q Talk, we liaise with Tears, we talk to we don't wonder, we follow this story from day one. We also called Tari in the studio, had a conversation with Tari. There were a lot of things, not just about his porn career, but there were a lot of sensitive things that we had to discuss that were brought on the table when Kachi was arrested, which is one, his face being unmasked in most of his pornographic scenes. Secondly, his accusation of sleeping with underage children. Thirdly, not paying or using his porn stars, which got him in this mess in return. And the fourth case we had about Kachi is his attitude. People, we overlooked his attitude and we decided to follow this case up just to prove that everybody in the community matters. But at the same time, they say fowl where they smell no feed inside pot unless you wash fowl. Let me say that in English. A smelling chicken a smelly chicken cannot be cooked. You gotta wash the anus of the chicken before you cook the chicken's anus. That's what my people say. In relating to this, attitude takes us a long way. Most people would have interacted and invested in so many of us community members, but the reason is that sometimes we have this nonchalant, I don't give a damn shit, I don't care. These were people who stood up for you, Kachi. These were people who came to your aid. These were people who brought you out of Kurikuri, out of prison. So you don't just come out and say, I don't give a damn shit about who anybody or what they say. No, you show appreciation. You show gratitude. You give accolade to who accolade is due. You respect those who brought you out. You don't come out on social media and put out a tweet like that. That has been the issue with Kachi. So let us begin to begin to address issues when it comes to people's attitude. Many of us will not be in debt. Many of us will not be in the situation where we are if we are only grateful. Sometimes when you see celebrities and you see Nollywood famous actors, or you see all these stars and they are falling and you see them in a low state in life, it's because they beat the hand that feed them. One thing you should never do: never bite the hand that is feeding you. When you are handicapped and you're biting the hand that is feeding you, boogie, hunger will surely finish you. So on this note, Kachi, overlooking this, we have overlooked all the things that has happened to you. We have decided as a community to come together, but at the same time, I feel Kachi needs to show gratitude to the people who stood, to the people who brought him out. Secondly, the accusation about your porn star. Now you are back in business. How you treat people matters, because there is a story of a boy who cried wolf. I don't know how many of us know that story, but there was a story of a boy who cried wolf. The first time he cried wolf, 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 everybody came out to help him and there was no wolf. But the second time when the wolf came, he cried wolf, wolf, wolf. And then nobody came. This first time you've cried wolf. This first time calamity has hit you, bad things has happened to you. We've come out as a community to stand by you, to support you. But now you are out of this kasala. And the first thing you want to do is to show nonchalant attitude. Darling, if kasala busts on your head, you are on your own. To be honest, you're on your own. I think you should be smarter by now. You should be saving money to either relocate from Nigeria, where you can go to a same country where you can do your production freely without being harassed. I feel you are at the time where you could go back to the people who are owing, pay them the money you're owing. Because take it anywhere, they can still legally sue you for not paying them for the copyright. So you need to be wiser now, because now copyright is a big issue. You don't just take talents and use them and not pay them. Go back to the people you owe, pay your talent. Secondly, if you are sleeping with underage children, we need to talk about this in the LGBTQ community. Are pedophiles part of our communities? Are we in support of pedophilia? Is it a plus in the LGBTQ community? Because darling, I do not stand with pedophilia. I do not stand with rape. Those people cannot be part of our community. So we need you to publicly address the pedophilia that has been, that have been thrown against you, that have been slapped on your face, Kachi. You need to come out. You owe our community an apology. Not only owing our community an apology, you also owe this community a gratitude. You need to also write publicly to those who help you, being grateful for once. That's all I have to say. But darlings, like we said, a recap of this news. Nigerian famous porn star who just turned 21 is out of Abuja prison. He has come out with a tweet saying he doesn't give a damn shit of what people say about him, forgetting that these were the same people who stood by him. These were the same people who shouted, "Release free Kachi." These were the same people who rallied around, got into different organizations, table these matters before organizations that went and looked for a way to bail the Nigerian porn star. I think at this point in time, I've said all that needs to be said. As square people, as community members, as stars, don't forget that any ladder that is up, there is another continuous ladder. If you meet this mountain, the next mountain is taller than that mountain. So no matter how big you are, no matter how great you are, no matter how a star you are or wealthy you are, there is always somebody bigger, greater than you. And I remain Chimereze Henry Ahunaya. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to also donate to our GoFundMe. Our GoFundMe are out there. It's out there. Please support queer emergency funds. These GoFundMes are set up for queer victims, homophobic victims who have been assaulted, who need place to stay, who are homeless, who need medical bills. These funds are funds that also in places like Canada and US, where you can do your tax what's it called, tax auditing. You can also audit this donation back and get them in your tax audit. So please down in help queer development. And also on the 23rd of this month, we are going to be hosting the first campaign, which is End Homophobia in Nigeria. We are still on the planning matter. Kiwi Talk is still on the planning matter. We are planning on hosting this campaign to create awareness, to help victims, to make sure victims come out. You're going to be hearing a lot of victims tell their story on the 23rd of this month. You're going to be hearing a lot of incidents. You're going to be knowing locations where in Nigeria are unsafe for you as a community member. So if you are anywhere you are on the 23rd, just make it a priority to be right with us here on social media, and just contribute. Tell your friends, tell your colleague. Make sure you create this awareness, because we are doing this for you and for ourselves, to end homophobia killings, to end homophobia setup, to end homophobia in Nigeria. And I remain Chimerize Henry. Peace out.